Alright, so here I have for you my Control Warrior deck. It's all basic cards with two exceptions you may have noticed. We have Beckoner of Evil and Cthulhu. So we have two cards that aren't necessarily basic, every other card is basic. But you can get these cards just by opening one single Old Gods pack. You open one Old Gods pack, you're going to get a Cthulhu and two Beckoners of Evil. So this is going to be Control Cthulhu Warrior basically. A lot of our basic cards aren't amazing, but as we rank up, we're going to upgrade it and we're going to be pretty powerful. So compared to the zoo, we're going to start off a little bit weaker than we were on the zoo, but we're going to finish about as strong. I'll just quickly run through some of the card choices. So we got Whirlwind, we have for some board clear, and it has some other synergies with our deck. We have Ooze just because it's a solid 2-drop and all the weapons in the meta. Cleave is a pretty interesting board clear. It's pretty versatile. It's pretty easy to narrow them down to 2 minions to actually get Cleave on, so it's very effective. Execute is just super effective removal. Fiery War Axe is probably the best basic card in the game, and definitely almost arguably the best weapon in the game. It's just super effective. 2 mana for 3 damage twice. Very nice. Novice Engineer, just to kind of thin our deck a little bit, help us find our Cthulhu, help us find our Fiery War Axes, and just all our other good cards in general. Ironforged Rifleman's a flexible 3-drop. It's definitely one of the first things we're going to replace is our 3-drops. They're generally weak in the basic card set. Ironforged Grizzly, same thing. It's useful. It doesn't have synergy with our deck like Rifleman does. A lot of these 1 damage things are more useful because we can trigger Execute, and we can buff our Gurubashi Berserker, who we're going to talk about more in a sec. But Ironforged Grizzly doesn't really have any synergy. I just needed another 3-mana minion. We have Shield Block to help, again, cycle through our deck faster and gain some armor to help us last longer. Cochrane Elite doesn't have any synergy with the deck. It's just a really strong 4-drop, and we needed some of those. 2 Sinjin Shield Masters because it's a solid 4-drop and it's taunt. It's fitting the theme of the deck a bit. An Arcanite Reaper to help us close out the game sometimes, and it's good removal as well, so it kind of fits the control theme. The Gurubashi Berserker's a pretty effective minion. It'll win us the game a lot of times, but not always. Actually, more often than not, it's going to get removed, but it has a big target on its head for removal, and if they don't remove it, well, then we have so many ways to do 1 damage to it and make it huge, and it's just very powerful. Boulder Fist just because it's a solid 6-drop, and then Cthulhu for our finisher. Whenever we can manage to find him. He won't be huge because we only got 2 buffing cards right now, but he'll be good enough to help us win some games. Even if we only buff him the 2 times, then he'll be a 10-10, which is pretty good. Honestly, even dropping him as a 6-6 isn't that bad because he does that 6 damage right off the bat as a battle cry, so it's really not the most horrible minion even if you don't even buff it. But let's go ahead and get into our first games. Alright, so we're going to get started in rank 20 with 2 stars. I D-ranked all the way down to 0 stars, and I play tested just a couple of games before starting to record. I wanted to make sure I was happy with the deck and how it was set up. So I think I'm only going to have to win 2 to be on the win streak instead of the normal 3. But we'll see exactly how that goes. Anyway, I think I may have said this before. I'm not 100% sure since I'm recording this a day or 2 after I recorded the first part of this video. I believe that this deck is a lot weaker than our Zoolock deck in general until we start getting our upgrades going. I'm mulliganing for Fiery War Axe. So if you're wanting to win, your goal is to win for free and to rank up easily, I highly recommend just following the Zoolock series, and that's going to be a more effective way than this way. But if you don't like Zoolock and you still want to rank up and play for free, this deck is definitely very different, and it is winnable. It just takes a little bit more work than the other ones. And once we get to like rank 14, 15, 14, we're going to have a pretty solid base of cards. I am going to go ahead and equip Fiery War Axe. It's punished pretty heavily by Acidic Swamp Boost, but I'm going to equip it and hold it and wait to kill his war leaders with it and things of that nature. If he drops a 4 health minion, we can ping it with Ironforged Rifleman next turn and hit it. Or we can just ping this and just hold our weapon for later. Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and ping the 2-1. And we're going to pass. Just going to hold on to our weapon, use it to kill stuff that he drops. Who knows what it's Murloc Paladin, Murloc hand buff Paladin, some kind of deck like that. There's really no telling exactly what he's going to have, except he probably has the 4 costs 4/2 weapon, and he probably has Consecration. And those are 2 things we can probably play around. Probably going to have lots of minions with Divine Shield, where our 1 damage pings are going to really come in handy. I think we're just going to play on curve. Yeah, our other option is drawing some more cards, but I'm happy with what we have in our hand. And I'll kill the silver hand. Yeah, I'm gonna kill the silver hand just to play around equality a little bit. Sometimes you don't have to worry about these 1/1s, but Paladin has some ways of making them pretty scary with equality and Keeper of Uldamon and some things like that. That. Anyfen's actually probably the biggest card we have to play around. Whirlwind's pretty nice too. I think we can save Whirlwind for later though. Let's go ahead and draw our card first, just to make sure we don't get a better choice. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to save that for maybe Tyrion if he has it. Or any other of these big minions he's going to start playing. These first 2 in his hand. They're going to be very powerful. Okay, so he drew a Murloc. Maybe War Leader. Yikes. We're probably going to kill that with our weapon. Oh yeah, I actually really like this line of play. So I think I'm going to drop Gurubashi and I'm going to Whirlwind. Oh, actually, I don't even have to take that damage. Is that greedy? It's a little bit greedy. 5 damage versus keeping a 2/1 on the board. Would you pay 5 health to drop a 0 mana 2/1? I think you would. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I am going to kill this with my weapon. Drop him. I'm going to Whirlwind to clear the board, buff my 2/7, and hit him in the face. I'm going to try to win before the whole Anyfin shenanigans happen. You might want to stay healthy just because of Anyfin, but I think I can afford to take that health for that advantage. We can easily execute this and kill it. Yeah, let's draw first, see if we can get a 1 damage ping out. No, that might come in handy though. Okay. Now do we want to drop our 4/3 on the board? Trade that. I think we can hold our execute. Let's hold our execute. I think we might get a better target for it. He's been dumping out a lot of his resources. He can't have too many.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, Cthulhu. Hello there. See if we can draw a source of 1 damage or something else like that nature. Taunt me is pretty good. I'll definitely take that. Okay. I think I'm still gonna hold this to kill a weapon. No. No, I'm not gonna hold it. Actually, I'm gonna hold it to play on Consecration. And I'm going to kill this 1/1 just so that he has to trade 2 4/4s into this 3/5. He can't just trade a 1/1 and a 4/4. So that takes that choice away. And I'm gonna kill that. Take that choice away. So his only choices are going to be to ram both these guys in here, unless he has some other spell in his hand. Which isn't not a huge chance of that being the case, since in hand buff Paladin you're running mostly minions. Glad I held on to that ooze. That's was maybe a little overly aggressive. He probably should have killed my 1/1 just so I can't get the easy king onto that. Okay, we're probably going to execute that. We can afford to execute both, but I don't think we need to. We definitely need to execute one. Do we execute the other? He only has one card in hand. 8 damage. Do we need to play around Tyrion? That's really what this comes down to. I think I'll take my chances. We're in not the best spot, especially if he has any Finn in his hand. We're just gonna hope he doesn't drop Tyrion. I think that's gonna be our best bet. We're really behind right now, so we can't afford to play around Tyrion, even though I would normally like to. We might just drop our 6/6 Cthulhu. It's really not too bad. That was an interesting choice. The face is the place.
Reporting for duty.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay, well that's everything he has. Yeah, I think we just go ahead and drop Cthulhu. Pretty cool that Beckoner Evil buffs Cthulhu after it's on the board. Chances are pretty good for 2 to hit each. I think that's actually the most likely scenarios that everything dies. But even if only one of them dies, I'll be content. Hello? Oh, sorry, I thought someone knocked on my door.
Reporting for duty.
What? They fell off a truck.
Yep, and we can just go ahead and buff our Cthulhu right up. Beckoner. Pretty sweet. Might even draw another Cthulhu buff card where our deck is running thin.
Are you my master?
No reason not to play everything. And I think we can go ahead and hit face. I'd love to just go ahead and kill that, but I have to play around Consecration. Because if I trade into that and he has Consecration, then I lose my only way to win the game. Yay! Pretty close victory there. Pretty close. We had to really play our resources smart, and I had to take a gamble since I was behind. And that's just like I said, a lot of these first games are going to be the hardest ones with this deck, because it's probably one of the worst. No, it's definitely not great at this moment. We're going to throw it all away, I think. Yeah, we really want Fiery War Axe. Sometimes you might keep Whirlwind or something like that against Warrior or something like that. But against Druid, we really want our Fiery War Axe out. And our other 2-drop the Cthulhu one. I can never remember what it's called. Okay. Probably Jade Druid. We can make that assumption, I think. Although it is possible for it to maybe be Beast Druid. I think Yogg Druid's been making a comeback. No reason not to play that. And you start thinking about the first thing I add to the deck, it's either going to be Acolyte of Pain, Ravaging Ghoul, or another Cthulhu buffing card, the Disciple, the 4 mana, 4/2 with Divine Shield. One of those things, I'm not sure which one yet. I really want all 3 of those. That's really what this deck needs, I think. We're going to play it by the rules. Okay, so what are our choices? We can Whirlwind Armor. We can want to save our executes. Not a lot of good choices here, to be honest. I think we're just going to armor up and kill the 1/1.
This way.
Yeah. Not a lot of choices there. We were really limited. Coin does give us some nice options next turn though. I think we might just drop Gurubashi, force him to answer that. Yeah. Drew doesn't have like many great ways to answer a drop like this. He'll have to maybe burn up a swipe. I think some are running mulch nowadays, but not a lot of great answers. Maybe he can discover one. But even if it's mulch or the other one, natural, the one that makes you draw cards, either one it's a good outcome for us. I'm really happy to have this in our opening hand actually against Druid. That makes me think this is maybe some kind of Beast J Druid. And this is where Cleave is really good, but let's draw a card first. You never know what you might draw. I think Cleave is still the way to go. We can just really threaten him with this guy. We can, this guy's gonna be really scary. Just because he doesn't have any easy way of killing it. I'm thinking Boulder Fist Ogre next turn.
What?
Maybe Whirlwind Execute Fiery War Axe if he drops that. Yeah, I think we're gonna execute that. It's just a great target to execute. And I think we'll drop our Grizzly Bear. Raw. Fear my 3/3 taunt. We are okay with that. I guess it is just Jade Druid, and he's just incidentally running Enchanted Raven for a 1-drop, I guess. Might just be missing something. Okay. I think I like Ogre. If this was another matchup, I might drop Fiery War Axe and Cockron Elite. But against Druid, they're just so bad at removing multiple big minions that you can really just flood the board with big minions and there's not a whole lot they can do. Go ahead and kill that. I'm not going to kill that because that brings me into swipe range. I guess I'm into swipe range anyway. So I really don't gain a lot. He wants to hit trade in here and swipe him. That's just what he wants to do. So I might as well just get some more face damage. Yeah, if I had traded him, he would have just swiped him and he would have died. So I got a lot more value. I got 5 more damage and made him use another spell. And this 2/2 isn't a big threat to me. Let's just keep the strategy, get a bunch of big minions out. And he just won't have any way to kill all of these. And we're setting up a really nice Cthulhu to finish off with. Arcane Giant. Yeah, this is the new Yogg Druid deck, I think, that's been going around, or at least some kind of version of it. Some kind of budget version of it, I guess. Do I have lethal? 12, 17? Yeah, it's lethal. Always check for lethal. It's easy to forget. Woohoo. Rank up. I'll go ahead and upload this video, and in the next video I'll do the upgrade. Cool. See you guys.